joined now by John O'Shea, PRO of the West Board, to review this evening's Tipperary Co-op West Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship game between Cashel and Eire and Carty Denoha, which was won by Eire and a score of 221 to 121. A huge display from Eire, who probably came in as underdogs into this game against the Cashel team, who was really giving Tracy, I suppose, a good defeat last week and put themselves in pole position to qualify for the final. But Eire came up really with a performance that was probably needed, I suppose, after their defeat to Sean Tracy's 2 weeks ago, Jack.
Yeah, they did, Francis, and what a performance they put in. You know, they had 2 weeks to regroup after that because, you know, they were disappointed in themselves, I suppose, in the display against Sean Tracy, and it was probably they were disappointed more in the manner in which they played that game, because they certainly didn't play up. There was no hunger to be seen in that game, but they definitely made up for it tonight, and they went out from the start. Now they had a team rejigged a little bit there tonight. Donald Dwyer was back up in the forward line tonight there, and he started off short. I think the game was about 10 seconds when he got the first score. But you know, Eire drove on there right through that match there, and like Mooney kept them in there. What was it, around the 23rd minute there? He had 2 double saves there in quick succession, and that's really kept Eire in the game, because I think had one of those goals gone in, their heads may have dropped, you know, and to have given Cashel the impetus that they needed, but they didn't, and they drove on, and they were down 4 points up at half time, 13 points to 9, and the second half they continued in that vein there, and then a great goal there on 39 minutes there. It was, I think, Conor O'Brien started it out around the middle of the field. He passed it to Donald Dwyer. Donald went into Connie Bradshaw, and Bradshaw put Paddy Bradshaw through back of the net, and that was a cushion goal that Eire, you know, they needed it. They held on to it, and they drove on then, you know, and coming down the home straight there, then they were gone into. They got a second goal from Tom Fox, a great ball, a hand pass in over the top. I think just from Paddy Bradshaw, was it, or Shawnee Ryan? I think he put it in over the top there. The ball hopped kindly for Fox, and he let fly it the first time back of the net. So all of a sudden they were gone 6 points up, and they went in. Then there was a bit of injury time there in the game, but late on Cashel came back with a late goal to cut the deficit there to 3 points there. And I suppose Eire had a worrying last minute and a half, 2 minutes there, because another goal from Cashel and Eire were gone out of it, like, you know. But they didn't. They dug deep, they battled hard, and they're in the final next Sunday in Clonouty on merit.
Just going through the Eire team, I suppose we look at the players like Brian Fox, who's given so much, Donald Dwyer, players like that, Paul Downey. There were some players there that were absolutely immense, but I thought Brian Fox stood out immensely when you look at the game, from the way he took the game to Cashel at centre back. You know, he made a few bursts out there to numbers of players, like, and really led the charge from the start.
He did, but like I suppose to the younger lads too stood up. But Tom Fox was I thought was great in the middle of the field there. Not besides getting the goal there, but he great leadership. Look at the backs as a unit there. They played very well there. Conor O'Brien was down at centre forward there, and he was withdrawn there, had given it all with 10 minutes to go. The same way Darragh O'Brien gave it all there, and he was replaced. But Denny Cross, you know, I thought at centre forward. Alright, he started at full forward. There wasn't great, you know, there was great pressure put on the Cashel backs. They weren't able to distribute the ball to the forwards like they did last week against Sean Tracy's, for example. You know that, but you know, Eire knew what they had to do. Like, I mean, and they also knew that a 1 point victory would have got them over the line. So that, you know, I suppose Cashel probably had the cushion that they were already nearly in the final, but that's not taken away from Eire's victory, you know. And I'm really looking forward to the final now next Sunday, Francis.
Yeah, I suppose Eire did it as well without Derek Kelly too as well, who was pretty instrumental in their performance 2 weeks previous against Sean Tracy's as well. So I don't know, is he injured now or not, but he was probably another loss to their forward line, and maybe another player that possibly can be looked at again going into the final.
Oh, that's definite. Like, he was a huge loss to them there. As I see, Kevin Fox was tugged out there today. Now Kevin had a hand injury there, and I think whether he'll be available for selection now in next week is another thing. But he would be a big loss. He'd probably have got 40 minutes out of Kevin as well. Like, you know what I mean? These lads are battle hardened. You know, having give years playing senior hurling here, you know what I mean? But it's nice to see the younger lads coming on, Aidan Griffin, Connie Bradshaw, Darragh O'Brien, Mixie Bradshaw, you know what I mean? They all stood up today when they were needed.
I suppose it's probably coming from last week. They lost the Tracy's. They knew what they had to do today, but they brought kind of more of a renewed energy, I think, today compared to even 2 weeks ago against Sean Tracy's. There's a real case of we have to do this today. We have to get our season up and moving. Things didn't probably really go from it as much as they liked against the Tracy's, but today was from the off. They really hit the start button and really took off. They had they were 3 points to 1 up very early on. They kind of, I suppose, they set the tone for themselves, did they?
Oh, they did. They definitely, from the very word go, they were up for it. And yeah, they were a different team today than what played Tracy's 2 weeks ago, above in Cap of White. But Cashel came into, this is the third meeting this year. I think they met in the County League, they met in the Crossco, and this is Eire Og's first victory over them. So it was a real knockout game today for Eire Og, because had they were beaten, they were gone out of the West. Look at Cashel. Cashel were without Nathan Ryan today as well. He got injured last Sunday there. He was replaced by Dan Maloney, and Dan was replaced himself. It looked like a leg injury or a muscle injury or something like that there, because I don't think there was anyone in his vicinity when it happened there. So that was a sort of a setback for Cashel. But look at they won't use that as an excuse, they'll be coming with all guns blazing again next Sunday.
In fairness, just mentioning Cashel there as well, they did some great performances, like Owen Connolly, Paddy Fahey really tried to, it was a real battle hard in the midfield in there, and they probably got their fair share of ball in there as well, and I suppose try to get the likes of Oisin O'Donoghue and maybe David McGrath and that Ross Bonner into the game as well, for the supply of ball. They probably didn't go in as clean this week as I suppose last Sunday, but there was a very good performance, I thought, from midfield, and some of the forwards really stood up as well. That Cashel realised they were in a battle here, and
yeah, they knew from an early stage, Francis, that they were. I think Ross Bonner finished with 2 points, Oisin O'Donoghue, David McGrath, Ger Brown, they all finished with 2 points from play each. Connolly got a couple of scores there. Devin Ryan then, I think he missed one free probably from missed one free. I think he finished up with 9 points, the same as Aidan Griffin for Eire Og. And Aaron Maloney, he came on the time Dan went off, and I think he finished with 1-1 or 1-2. So he'll be fighting for a starting place next Sunday as well. So TJ Connolly to pick that team now. He has options now. After today.
I suppose in terms of Cashel looking at it, it probably brings them back down a small bit after last week's victory as well. And it's something to work on for the next 7 days, and we look forward to Canolty on next Sunday.
Oh, definitely. TJ Connolly will have definitely something to work on, because sometimes when you get an easy victory like that there, especially younger lads there, they just might be on a little bit of a high, and rightly so, because they had a big victory. But they're down to earth this evening here in Dundrum, and it's all to play for now, and they know what they're facing next Sunday now in the final.
So just a quick look forward to next Sunday. Do we expect more of the same, or do we see a difference? Do we see anything different coming down the tracks, or is it hard to see 2 games similar in the space of 7 days?
I suppose it is, Francis. But look, the one thing we had today was a game of honest endeavour, you know what I mean? A good, clean game, but very honest play from both sides. And if we get the same thing next Sunday, I think the people who are here at the game today, went home happy, because they did see a good game of hurling.
Right, John, we'll leave it there for this week, and hopefully we'll be back next week after the final in Canolty, which is fixed for 7 p.m. in Canolty next Sunday, between Eire Og and Carty, Donoghue and Cashel King Cormacs. Thank you, John.
Okay, Francis.